Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bible Book by Book. Here I am in Croyd Bay, and it has just reminded me of a passage in Scripture. A number of years ago, I was around Lake Galilee, and I was reading the same Scripture and Scriptures like it, and it reminded me that the image that I had of Lake Galilee was not what I imagined. When I think of Lake Galilee, I think of this beautiful sea over here in Croyd, this beautiful beach. I have images of people running around Lake Galilee like a Baywatch scene, hair flying, flapping, people running around the beach, beautiful. But actually that isn't what Galilee looks like whatsoever. And let me just read the passage to you that I was reading. This is from Mark chapter 6, verse 30. The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all that they'd done and all that they'd taught. Because so many people were coming and going, they did not have a chance to eat. And he says to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." So they went by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. Verse 33. But many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot throughout all the towns and got there ahead of them. And when Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like a sheep without a shepherd. So here you have this image of the disciples, Jesus getting on a boat, going to the other side of the lake, and people running and some walking around the lake to get to Jesus. Now, if you have this image of the Baywatch scene, beautiful sun-kissed beach, surfers on the waves, people running, their beautiful blonde flowing locks kind of behind them as they charge around. You really don't have an image of Galilee at all. Galilee is surrounded by volcanic black rock. It's basalt rock. They're big, not quite like this, but they're big, solid, round rocks. And if you tried running around Lake Galilee, I can guarantee you're not going to get very far very quick. I had a pair of sandals on and I tried running 20 metres and I couldn't do it. I stubbed my toe, I cut my little toe, I had a bit of blood everywhere. Your sandals would get stuck in the rocks. It's really difficult to run anywhere around Lake Galilee. It's kind of from one rock to the next, and it's a slow process. Unless you went up onto the hillsides and you kind of went round, you can't move very quick. And this just got me thinking about how desperate people were for Jesus, and how desperate are we for Jesus. If it rains, you might decide, I'm not going to go to church this Sunday. The car's not working, I'm not going to go to church this Sunday. Oh, it's a bit damp, it's a bit this, it's a bit that, I'm not going to church this Sunday. These guys were desperate to hear from Jesus. They knew that Jesus had something that they desperately needed. They wanted to be near Rabbi Jesus, that they would run around this volcanic Lake Galilee, surrounded by basalt rock, these big black boulders, and they would stub their toes, they'd cut their feet, they'd do what it took to kind of get where they needed to be because they wanted to be near the Rabbi Jesus. Just want to inspire us today. How desperate are we to be near the Rabbi? Would you come running through these black kind of stone rock kind of formations because you're desperate to come and hear the Rabbi speak? Just a thought, how desperate are you to be near Rabbi Jesus? Grace and peace.